Hey YouTube, this is Evil Joey coming to you with a quick video. I know I haven't made a video in a long time. Good reason for that is I really haven't played a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've played a little bit, but overall I just haven't played a ton. Sorry, I'm a little sick right now. But I just kind of want to show you something. It's the deck I'm planning on making. And Legacy the Valiant comes out. I just have all the cards except for the cards that are Legacy the Valiant. Obviously, a few things are subject to change depending on the list. But for the most part, this is kind of the build I'll be running. This is the build I've been running online for a while. And it's just overall deck I like. So, let's get to it. The deck is Shinra. If you don't know, this is a plant archetype. It's the new plant archetype. Basically, they revolve around revealing the top card of the deck, and if they're plants, sending them to the graveyard, and then they activate based on that. So it's a little bit like Dark Worlds, a little bit like Mermails, Fables, things that like to go to the graveyard in specific ways in order to trigger. And so that's pretty cool. And so yeah, I really like the deck. It's really fun to play. It can make a lot of big tournament moves. And so yeah, that's just what I like about the deck. I'm going home soon for winter. So while I'm home for winter, I'm gonna try to get a few duels recorded with me running this. Last thing to note, I made these proxies before the English names got announced. So when you're watching them in the future, for most of these, obviously these aren't the real names. There's been one that's been announced that obviously isn't the real name. And that's this one. Its real name is Sylvan Flower Knight, because there are going to be Sylvans here in the TCG. So just letting you know that. So names aren't right on these, but I made these proxies before anything got announced. So I'm not gonna make new ones when these things work just fine, and new cards are just gonna come out. Cards are just gonna come out anyway. But I made them because I wanted to play them. Because they're pretty much the only thing I really enjoy right now. So, I enjoy Black Wings too. But, so we got 3 Spirit Tree Regia. It's our level 8. It's our boss monster. Basically, once per turn, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a plant, send it to the graveyard. If not, send it to the bottom of your deck. You're just diamond duding through your deck. Basically, that's what this deck does, is you diamond dude through your deck. When it does send a plant, you draw one, so it's a plus. And when this thing gets revealed in the deck and sent to the graveyard, I get to arrange the top 3 cards of my deck in any order. So that actually is a lot more useful than it sounds. People, like, I've heard people, oh, so it's just the big eye, the actual original big eye knight, not the number exceeds big eye. It's actual big eye. It's a lot, except this thing actually works with all their effects, and it's actually a lot more useful than it sounds. It's so good, and a lot of times I'll try to make sure that this thing gets to the top of my deck. In order so that I can send this thing, and there's ways I can do that legally. So when I say make sure to get this to the top of the deck, I'm not illegally stacking, just so that you know, and don't get that confused, because I'm sure many of you actually haven't heard of this deck. Some of you will have. Shinra Leaf Flow. When this thing, it's level 3. And when this thing's normal 1500 attack, the 08 was 2700. Another good thing about that is it's a beater. Like I said, it's our boss monster. When this thing's normal summon, you reveal the top 2 cards, and if they're playing center to the send it to the graveyard. If not, send it to the bottom. You don't get the draw of this, unfortunately, but that's fine. And when this thing gets revealed in the deck and sent to the graveyard, you destroy a monster. Then we got 3 Ps. This thing's just level 1. Level 1s are always amazing. As shown by our ban list, how the level most represented on our ban list is level 1. I kind of firstly find that pretty funny. But anyway, so basically, yeah, it's just level 1. When this thing gets normal or special summoned, you reveal the top 1 card, and if it's a plant, send it to the graveyard, if not, bottom of the deck. But when this thing gets revealed, you can special summon a level 4 or lower plant type monster from your graveyard, which is, as it sounds, ungodly amazing. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Then we got 2. One that's becoming Sylvan Flower Knight. Right now it's Night Sisters. So 1800, so it's a decent sized monster, not great. It's not really gonna beat over anything into current meta, but I mean it's not terrible. When this thing's normal summon, I only get to reveal 1, which isn't really that great. And it's I only run 2 because also its other one isn't that great. Well, it allows me to search any Shinra card and put it on top of my deck when this thing gets revealed. It's into the graveyard. And while that might sound better than the Regia, it's not. It's really not. This thing's mediocre, and probably if it wasn't Earth, I probably won't run it. Basically. It's a nice normal summon too. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's a nice normal summon. Then 2 Stools. When this thing, it's 2000 defense. And this is, if you don't really open a fantastic opening hand, this can oftentimes help with that, because you just set it in defensive position. When it gets flipped, and it's not a flip effect, so again, it's like Geary Armor, where it's not really weak to no one. Well, it's partly weak to no one. Anyway, when this thing gets flipped, I can reveal the top 5 cards of my deck, and send any plants, rest go to the bottom, which is absolutely amazing. And when this thing gets sent, it destroys the spell trap. Reason you only run 2 is later in the game, these do make for really awkward draws, because later in the game they're really not that useful. And so yeah, 1 orc, level 6, 2400. Sorry, this video is a little bit long. I'm just trying to make sure that you know what cards do for those that haven't heard of the cards before. Level 6, 2400 attack. Once per turn, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Any plant's graveyard, its bottom. Sorry. And when this thing gets revealed, you can take any plant, any other plant in your graveyard and put it on top of your deck. It's not that fantastic. I run it because it's really good with synchro plays. Again, it's Earth, so I mean, actually, the Earth doesn't really help as much with this one. It's also another bigger monster. In case I run out of Regias in the deck, I can summon out this thing. So, and it's decent size, and the reveal 3 is pretty cool. So I mean, I'm more likely to take out Night Sisters than I am Orc. This thing's actually pretty cool, and has helped me win on several occasions, putting stuff back on top of my deck and allowing me to boss. Then we got pretty much Plant Engine. 1 Fire Blossom, one everybody knows. This one's gonna be new. Mysterious Seed Mitra. It's an Earth level 3 tuner plant. And up to twice per turn, you can select one earth monster on the field and north. Is it just ones I control? No, just on the field. Mostly it's gonna be ones that you control, and lower their level by 1. That can, there will be times when that actually might come in handy, reducing your opponent's monster's level. But I mean, for the most part, not. But up to twice per turn, revealing, lowering levels, so that can help you make synchros easier. Since it's Earth, so you can target itself. The only downside with it is it has to go into an Earth synchro. Then we got 1 Dandy, 1 Spore, 1 Copy Plant. Copy Plant is absolutely crucial in this deck. Trust me. It makes Xyz plays and synchro plays so much easier. Then we got 2 Crane. Just helps with Xyz and some synchro plays. Since it is Earth, I can use it to bring out Medie, and then use those 2 to either go into, not Medie, I can to go into Mitra, since that one's Earth, I can either go into Medie, or I can go into Nature Barking, whichever one I need. And then Debris Dragon. Iffy card. But it's got its place, so Carnade's still in here. If something comes out that it's amazing, Debris Park coming out. Same with Night Sisters. Then we got our spells. 22 monsters, I believe. Yeah. Then we got our field. Once per turn, and pretty much only once per turn, since you can only use its effect once per turn. You can only use the effect of Sacred Shinra Peak once per turn. So you can't just play one and then use its effect and then play the other over it. So it's not as good as Ravine, but it seems really good. Because once per turn, you can ditch a plant in your hand to stack a Shinra card on top of your deck, which is really good for making sure that you get your reveals. Like I said, when I said making sure they have, this is how you make sure that you have cards on top of your deck. So that's really absolutely amazing. Again, sorry for a long video. The other effect of it is during the end phase of your opponent's turn, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant, send it to the graveyard. But if it's not, you can either send it to the top or bottom of your deck. So that allows you to, one, potentially clear out your deck even more and trigger some more effects, which is nice. Or you can check the top card of your deck and see if it's something you want. And if it's not, bottom of the deck. If it is, top of the deck. So that's really nice. Then we got 2 terraformings to search it, because the field spell is actually really important for the deck. Then we got 3 Miracle Fertilizer. This thing is absolutely amazing in this deck. You go through your monsters really fast. So let's say you get Reggie in the graveyard. Through many ways this can happen. Reggie's in the graveyard, activate Miracle Fertilizer, bring it out. Get another Reggie in the graveyard. Next turn, bring out the next Regia and go 8. If you haven't already used your Renegades. Or you can go into other things too. Copy Plant. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely an amazing card. Then we got 1 Super Solar Nutrient. This thing's main play is summoning out something small, a small plant. It has to be level 2 or lower. Dandy tokens work for this. So that's why I'm playing Dandy right here, is Dandy tokens work for this. This thing can make itself level 2 or lower. Also works with these guys. And these guys. This is probably your best one, where you summon this, reveal the top, and then nutrient it away. Only problem with that is you gotta really hope you don't hit your target of what you're trying to get with nutrient, and that's Lonefire Blossom. This thing's main purpose is to get the Lonefire as quick as possible. A lot of people run more than more than one to try open with it. The reason I don't do that is because, yes, it has other things that you can go into that are actually pretty good things to go into, mainly Dandelion or Spore or Mitra. So pretty much anything in the plant engine is a good thing for you to go into. But these are a lot more suboptimal to go into, and are also likely to be in your grave already with how fast you go through your monsters than this. This thing is a great play. These are good plays. I'd rather not risk drawing into this later and just like having it in hand and being like, should I make a decent play, or should I make this other play which gets me just as far? Well, I can just try get it early game, and if I do have it later, if I don't get the Lone Fire before I get the Nutrient later game, I can just use that to get it into one of these, which is still a decent play. But I just didn't want to risk having like multiples in my hand and having everything already gone. So that's the reason why I play one. Sorry, long video. 2 MST. Like I said, the 3 stool running 3 stool really isn't that optimal. So because of dead hands, but this you don't mind drawing into later in the game. 2 Phoenix Chain, 1 Bottomless, 1 Compulse, 1 Warning, and 1 Transmigration Prophecy to recycle. This actually has been really good. In the times I've actually gotten to use it, it's been really good. And the last trap, and that's card of the deck, is 1 Shinra Blessing. This thing's amazing. It's Monster Reborn and Cold Wave. Not gonna say Cold Wave. Monster Reborn and Land. Actually a little bit of Cold Wave. Not really Cold Wave. How should I say? Trapstun. Monster Reborn and Trapstun in 1 card, pretty much. Where you take 1 card from your hand and put it on either the top or bottom of your deck, and then revive a Shinra in your graveyard. Usually that. And then you can make plays, and then when it's summoned, it's unaffected by trap cards. Is it just traps? Other card effects. So, I mean, I guess it's more Lance than Trapstun, or a bunch of other things. But, I mean, I guess it's more Lance. But yeah, it becomes unaffected by other card effects till the end of the turn. Or just in general, becomes unaffected by other card effects. The problem with this card is it can quickly become a neg 1, or a neg in general, sorry. It can quickly become a neg because at the end phase of the turn, the monster that you bring back goes back to either the top or bottom of your deck. Well, that's not always a terrible thing. It's not the best thing. Best time to use this is when you can bring out a monster, then you can use its effect and do stuff, and then when you're all done doing stuff like attacking and making sure that nothing's going to hurt it, you use something, you banish a Peas or something and bring back Spore, or possibly you use the field to, or you use the Blessing to stack Peas and then use Peas to get where is it? Then when you use Regi effect, ditching the Peas and drawing a card, you use Peas to get Mitra, and you make Mitra level 2. And there's a level 10 Earth Synchro coming out next set, so that's why you make it level 2. So yeah, so I mean, it's a good card, but you have to do something with the monster. God, long video. So yeah. Then we got extra deck. Got one formula, one catastor, one HDS Behemoth or Synchro is really good. One nature Barkion or Synchro that's really good. Ancient Fairy Dragon to go with the Debris Dragon. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see with it being Ghost. So Ancient Fairy, and it allowed with field spells as prevalent as they are. This thing's really good because you just pop their field spell and get yours, and put it in defense mode because very few things can beat over 3,000 defense. Black Rose, Nuke Fields, start a Spark because it's amazing. Scrap Dragon because it's amazing. Then here's the level 10, and it's Earth. And then here's the level 10 Earth I was talking about. Leo, Guard Beast of the Great Tree. Level 10 Earth is generic one tuner and one or more non-tuners, so easy to summon. And then this card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects except during your main phase too. So Deep Prison doesn't hurt it. Vader, the White Vader, that you can't Fiendish Chain it when it declares its attack. You can't, or pretty much can't Fiendish Chain it, because since it can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects except during main phase 2, yeah, you can activate main phase 2 and actually no, because then it would negate its effect. Never mind. Unless that counts as condition, but it's probably effect, because I don't want to be condition. But yeah, so yeah, it's not really hurt by anything. Deep Prison, it's around compulsed, can't be compulsed, can't be Dragosacked, and it's 3,100 attack, so you can't Dragosack it, you can't Big Eye it, so it's just a really great card. Then we got Kring Ixies, Wind Up Zenmains, and Medier. This thing's just amazing. Bring back either Lonefire or Shinra, or the Euregia. And Levier. You make Zenmains and Medier far more than you make Levier, but this is mainly in case you banish like Lonefire for Spore or something. Emerald for recycling. You don't really make it that often, but you can. So I figured I'd run. I had one spot. Extra deck's fairly tight. If you want to run this deck, extra deck's fairly tight. Shinra Morigami Aoze. Rank 8. Plant. And so once what it does is 2,300 attack, so it's smaller than Regia, but its effect kind of makes up for it slightly. You're more likely to go into your other level 8, which is Felgrand. Felgrand's amazing. But once per turn, you can declare a card name, reveal the top card of your deck if it's that card, add it to your hand. If not, send it to the graveyard. So it's kind of like its own Watchstream's Oath. So potential draw power. Not reliable draw power though. But what makes it really good is when a card, once per turn, the second effect of it you can only use once per turn too, and that's for all Shinra Morigami Aozes. But you only run one, so that doesn't really matter. Is when a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard, you can detach a material from it, and then target one card on the field and return it to either the top or bottom of the owner's deck. So yeah, just constantly. It's kind of like removal. Not the best removal, but like Dracosack. Opponent's got Dracosack. Just make Aoze. Yeah, just make Aoze. What do you mean? Felgrand and negate its effect and attack over it, but I mean, you're not wanting to do that with Felgrand. You want to use Felgrand to protect your own cards. But yeah, Aoze. Opponent's got Dracosack. Just declare something you don't even run, and then bounce Dracosack back. And then Felgrand. because Felgrand's amazing. And before I finish this, I know it's a long video, but I just want to show you this. This is basically your best opening move. I'm gonna make it this short one. Just grabbing back all the cards I need. Obviously, like if you use all the searchers to do this, thins your deck even more, so that's probably slightly better. But this is so basically what you're doing is you activate the peak, or actually don't activate the peak yet. Sorry, summon the Lone Fire first. Tribute Lone Fire to get Regia from your deck. Now activate peak. I guess it doesn't really matter, but less time peaks on the field, in my opinion, the better. Pitch a plant. Doesn't really matter what plant. I just grabbed this one because the first one came into my hand. To stack peas. Peas, use Regia effect to send the peas you just stacked to the graveyard. Draw a card. Obviously that doesn't matter at all. But that's basically what you're doing. Peas effect will activate. Gain back Lone Fire. Tribute the Lone Fire again. Regia. Use Regia effect again. It doesn't really matter what you hit. If you hit something, awesome. That's another draw. If not, who cares? Felgrand. Because now you've got 2800 attack monster. And you've gone through your deck quite a bit. Or a decent amount. And this thing's really in purpose to anything. So yeah. That's just one example of the power of this deck. And so that's why I love this deck. And I just wanted to show it to you. Sorry about the long video. Don't know if this exact one will go up. But yeah. Until then, I'll try to get some duels with this. And bye YouTube.